Good morning. The discussion behind the scenes is already heating up, and of course I should welcome you to our Take Note leg of Morning at NTV. We are going to be discussing the latest developments when it comes to the saga at the office of the Prime Minister. Some are calling it Mabati Gate. Of course, following revelations there that some officials, including the Prime Minister herself and line ministers, received iron sheets. We do not know under what framework, but revelations are beginning to appear. The Prime Minister herself has agreed and said she did receive iron sheets, ostensibly to distribute to vulnerable persons within her area, that is Kakumiro. She has also told the nation that the iron sheets she used to build her hotel, that was during the time she was resident district commissioner for Busia, and well, that is outside of the docket of the Prime Minister, especially after she took on that job. There's a lot of information that needs to be out there with regard to the Mabati Gate, so to speak. And joining me on set this morning is a man who has become an activist on his own, that is Job Richard Matua. He's the vice. He's an NRM cadre, a cadre with the International Resistance Movement, and aspiring vice president.
No, the chairperson of NRM from Uganda.
Okay.
Vice chairperson.
Before we begin this discussion, I would like to ask you the simple question.
Yes.
In what capacity are you here?
I am here in my capacity as an aspiring national leader and as a cadre of NRM.
As a cadre of NRM?
Yes.
Let me divert away from that.
Yes.
And describe you as
an activist,
a whistleblower and activist on civic governance.
You see, whistleblowing, there is something I need to tell you.
You seem.
Whistleblowers actually, they are always behind the curtain.
You see.
Maybe you can say petitioner.
You're a petitioner in the national.
A renowned petitioner.
You're a petitioner in the National Social Security Fund probe.
Yes.
And one of the gentlemen who have, for the last 3 weeks, demonstrated that you have information about some of the aspects that could be going wrong in some
government agencies
of government.
Yes.
Now tell me.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning, my brother.
What do you know about the iron sheets, away from the fact that we know whoever took and what number?
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother Chris. First, the people of Uganda, countrymen and women, Karamoja deserves better. If there's any region in this country that must not be again over marginalized, it is already a marginalized region. In fact, when you do something wrong to Karamoja, you are adding salt to the injury. That's already there. It is already the least of the least region you can talk about in this country. Any region that somebody would want to even try to play around with should not and must not be Karamoja. And I want to categorically state this: should not and must not be Karamoja. In fact, it is an emotional issue. So I am not going to smile. It is not. We are not here discussing an issue of romance. It is absurdity, to say the least. And I want to apologize to the people of Karamoja, even before I start the conversation. Now, going forward, you have asked me something.
Yes.
What do you know about the iron sheet thing?
Away from what we already know.
Away from what you already know.
That's what I want.
Countrymen and women, let me put the facts before you. Because of the ongoing insecurity in Karamoja, government of the Republic of Uganda wanted to help the region. A local demand arose where the local leaders in Karamoja, the members of parliament and the local leaders, came up together with the leadership of army in the division, the 3rd division. The commander is the Brigadier General Balikudembe Joseph. Yes. A need arose from the grassroots.
For housing.
Yes, because this, you see, these raiders, the Karachunas, the raiders, one of the reasons they are raiding is because they don't have permanent homes. So they shift from one area to another area, raiding.
Isn't that a misrepresentation? People in Karamoja claim
I can tell you,
raiders are looking for cattle. They are not looking for shelter.
I can tell you, my brother, even in Karamoja, a whole village can decide to shift to another area. Let me first put context to this thing. So now the need is arose. The local leaders came up with the need of giving Karamojong's iron sheet, especially these Karachunas, the key leaders, the ring leaders of this raiding, and the goats. My brother Chris, are you getting me?
I'm hearing you.
Now, a list of beneficiaries were generated and then transmitted to the office of the Prime Minister. After approval, this list, actually the list of the beneficiaries was sent back to the local level, to the accounting officer at the local level, the cows and the town clerks. Then a budget was generated and approved by Parliament. I want to make this very, very clear.
Please do.
A budget was generated and approved by Parliament for Karamoja, not for any other part of Uganda. You get me? Let's put facts before this thing. Then I think the budget first 29 billion, then 130 something, it comes around the 150 billion to buy goats and iron sheets. How many iron sheets were supposed to be procured? Let us put this to question, not to the fact. 100,000 iron sheets were supposed to be bought for the Karamoja, to be distributed in Karamoja to the Karachunas. These are the reformed warriors. Then to churches and schools in Karamoja, not any other part of Uganda. Let us be very, very clear. Now, when this thing was done, when the money was availed in the third quarter of the budget, you get me? Now, these things were bought and kept in the stores of OPM. That is mistake one that I want to say was registered. These things were for Karamoja. In any case, they were supposed to be kept in Moroto prison. The government has a store there. Yet, keeping them in OPM stores has made some people to go there and also get it in the name of helping vulnerable people in their region. Was that the budget for it? No. Countrymen and women, let us be factual. Let us be truthful. Now, what happened is that the Minister for Karamoja Affairs then authored, generated a requisition asking for 12,200 iron sheets for Karamoja. That she was going to do some mobilization activities in Karamoja, and that she was going to distribute these iron sheets.
Before you continue, allow me just refer here to a story, an article that has been carried by the Daily Monitor. Iron sheets scandal, ministers speak out. The finance minister is quoted in an interview with the Daily Monitor saying, I didn't request for them, that's the iron sheets, but they were just allocated to us. I think they are sympathetic to people, especially us who have constituencies. I am not criticizing them that they offered us iron sheets, but definitely I never placed any application for these iron sheets. Do you have information?
Yes, I do. I'm still coming to that thing. If you could give me time to put this context to the countrymen and
time is not our best ally.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, when this late honorable minister requested for the INC,
he claims he did.
Madam, Madam Mary Goreti Chitutu.
Okay, Madam.
Which we requisition for Karamoja. Then she decided to invite her friends to give them the iron sheets. It became, a friendship affair. I call Chris and give Chris 500. I call this and give Chris. It is very true. And you see, Mathia Kasaija.
So it's the minister.
Mathia Kasaija is very honest.
Is the one that disbursed.
That distributed the Karamoja iron sheets to other ministers and government officials. She's the one. And I want to say it categorically, she's the one. And she had actually gone to another minister, whom I'm not going to mention here. That in
how do you arrive at the conclusion? Do you have information?
I have even the evidence.
Please, can you avail it as a?
I have the evidence here,
please do, because the Freedom of Access to Information Act should be able to help us get off the hook.
Yes,
if we don't have
just a minute because of time. Fact, let me first put something I'm going to give you. So, countrymen and women, when these iron seats were requisitioned, there was a problem.
What was that?
Logistics became an issue. the 100,000 iron sheets which were procured for Karamoja, there was no budget for logistics. When I talk about logistics, what am I meaning? Fuel for transporting these iron sheets to Karamoja, for paying allowances of the driver. Logistics were not there. That is why the Honourable Minister Esther Nyakuni of Disaster, using her logistics in her ministry, decided to cooperate together with the cow of Nakapripriti to transport the shares for Nakapripriti, and that is the only district in Karamoja that has received the iron sheets, and the beneficiaries have gotten their iron sheets.
That is how many, out of how many districts?
Out of 9 districts. Karamoja has 9, countrymen and women, Karamoja has 9 districts and 2 municipalities. You could read for them the district.
Moroto and Kotido are municipalities.
Yes.
Karenga, Kabong, Kotido is both a district and municipality, as well as Moroto. There is a Bim. They have Napak, Nabilatuk, Amadat, and Nakapiripiti.
Nakapripriti. Now,
so only...
Mr. Chris, let me put something here. Don't allow these government officials to lie you. In fact, I'm very, very bitter with them. They are damaging the image of NRM. Look here. The needs for the iron sheets is supposed to arise from the local government level. A delivery note is supposed to be generated by the cow or the town clerk. That becomes the document to release the iron sheet from the government store. They are not supposed to be received by personal assistance of a minister. Please, there was a breach of procedure. There was illegality. And there was a theft where iron sheets meant for Karamoja ended up in Amisindwa. And people are trying to use a romantic word that there was diversion. Please, 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 please. Corruption in this country has reached to industrial scale level, and the countrymen and women, I am already very tired of corruption in this country, and we must not use any romantic language whatsoever to describe corrupt thing. We should call it theft.
Wait a minute. I want you to calm down.
Yes, I am very bitter.
Mr. Matua, calm down. I need information on the generation of, in the private sector, we could be calling it a little bit different, in public service. Is there a letter authorizing release of iron sheets to Karamoja that we have our hands on from the ministry?
From the ministry?
OPM?
No, actually what is here is that this is just a requisition.
I'm desperate for what is there.
Let me share it with you.
Please do.
Let me share it with you.
As you do,
I can touch on it very fast.
As you do, for those that are just joining us, we are trying to help understand better the circumstances under which many consignments of iron sheets were found to have been disbursed to different individuals who happen to be ministers. We also have Rebecca Kadaga, the former Speaker of Parliament, receiving at least 500. We are yet to find out under what auspices does Kadaga get iron sheets.
I am coming to that. You see the information which you need, and I need to give you information.
Please do.
Let me share here.
As Mr. Matua gets that information,
you can put that information on the screen.
What we have here are the beneficiaries.
I have shared with you. You can put that information on the screen for the
Moriku Kaduchu Joyce got 200, Rebecca Kadaga got 500, Jacob Oboth got 300, Rukia Nakadama got 300, Matia Kasaija got 300, Kitutu Mary Goretti 3,000. Obua Dennis Hanson 300, Lugolobi Amos 300, Buino Chakulaga 300. That's a total of 5,500 pieces of iron sheets.
Yes, going forward, my brother.
All right.
Let countrymen and women, let us put together, let us plot together the dots and arrive at the conclusion in this thing. When these iron sheets were requisitioned, the 100,000 iron sheets, I said these iron sheets were supposed to be transported and stored in a government store in Moroto prison. How they were not taken there and how they ended in opium stores is another thing we must, I request the security to investigate further. Because they were procured specifically for Karamoja. There was no way they will end up in Kakumiro to help the people in Kakumiro. Was that the vote for which, was that the approval of the money by parliament to help the people in Kakumiro?
This is a letter an internal memo from Minister Kitutu Mary Goretti Kimono, a doctor and a member of Parliament. Iron sheets.
It will be on the screen if possible.
Iron sheets for affirmative action program. Reference is made to my internal memo dated November 4th, 2022 of iron sheets for vulnerable groups in Karamoja sub-region. I will be conducting community mobilization and convening peace-building meetings in the third quarter of the sub-region. During community mobilization and peace-building missions, I usually meet vulnerable groups and Karachunas who are willing to disassociate themselves from wrestling. As part of my intervention, I'll be distributing iron sheets to such special vulnerable groups. This is therefore to direct that you release 12,200 pieces of iron sheets to my office to enable me handle my mobilization. This is a contradiction from what the Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja, says. The iron sheets she received and those that were given to other ministers were for vulnerable persons in their communities.
Let me now come to this.
We don't have the Prime Minister here.
Now,
we had hoped that she would make it.
I watched the Right Honourable Prime Minister last night on one of the televisions talking about this. And I want to say that Right Honourable Prime Minister, my sister-in-law, you are wrong. The iron sheets were specifically procured for Karamoja. Can you give us accountability of the 100,000 iron sheets that we are bought for Karamoja using the money Parliament approved?
12,000, not 100,000.
12,000 are just the one she requisitioned. But the total number is 100,000.
Do you have the dispatch note?
What I'm saying, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
From the needs, you see, I started tracking this thing from the needs.
She requested for 12,200.
Let me inform you,
where do you find the 100,000?
My brother Chris, get me right. I am saying, when the needs arose for the items by the local leaders, when they generated the list, the needs and the list of the beneficiaries, government was to procure 100,000 iron sheets for Karamoja. They were procured and they are in opium stores. Now the minister requisitioned for 12,200 pieces.
100,000.
Very good. That she was going for the activity there. So these iron sheets were not for Maracha, they were not for Ruo, they were not for, say, Alebotong, they were meant for Karamoja.
Mr. Job Matua,
let me give you information.
Just hold on.
Yes.
Mr. Job Matua,
yes,
there's a lot of information that needs to get out, especially when it comes to understanding exactly what is at the core of the latest scandal at the office of the Prime Minister. Allow me ask you, as a member of the National Resistance Movement, wrap this up for us. You claim that actions by a minister like Kitutu soil the legacy of the National Resistance Movement when it comes to corruption. However, the picture is different. Reports, including those carried by NTV, indicate that corruption is increasingly becoming entrenched within the administration of the National Unit and the National Resistance Movement, to which you are a member.
Yes.
What do you make of this state of affairs?
Thank you very much. I don't know whether the cameraman is. I want to really speak directly to the country.
You're on camera.
Countrymen and women, the government of National Resistance Movement, headed by my leader, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, does not support corruption. The people who are corrupt in government do it at the individual level. There's no single policy of either NRM or the government that go and do corruption.
We don't see that anywhere in the world.
I can tell you right now.
We do not see that anywhere in the world where a government says we are corrupt and we are going to roll out corrupt policy.
Can you give me a chance to respond to you, my brother? And I want to tell countrymen and women that my leader is very bitter over this issue and has already dispatched anti-corruption unit of State House to Karamoja, not only to find whether these iron sheets reached there. Now he wants a full report from 2010 of relief items, including the list of the beneficiaries.
Are you sharing information from the president? We haven't heard him say he wants that information.
You were accusing the government, and I am telling you what my president is already doing, that the president is already in charge of this thing.
We do not know about that.
Please, you be patient, the information will be given to you. No. So, countrymen and women, the ministers who got this iron sheet, one, I am not lenient with them, I condemn them roundly. They received iron sheets which were not meant for their region.
For their region, yeah.
That's one. Two, they were not the person who made the mistake. The mistake came from the Minister for Karamoja Affairs, who is the one generating the requisition for the iron sheet. Then after receiving, decided to call her friends to give it to them.
How long?
Now, that's why Honorable
How long
a moment.
You, as cadres of the National Resistance Movement, continue to dilly-dally over aspects of corruption? You claim the mistake is not these or theirs. They are simply receiving from another person who made a bigger mistake.
My brother, I want to tell you, the cadres of NRM, including myself, are leading the fight against corruption. I've just been here in NSSF, and after this OPM, I am going to another government agency, which I will not say on the air, otherwise they will panic. This time I will not say on the air.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go to Stephen Mbide. Stephen Mbide is standing by and has some issues to talk to us about on mental health awareness in schools. Mental health awareness in schools. This discussion about Mabati Gate can, of course, continue on our social media pages.
If you could give me 30 seconds.
Just a moment. Let me first go to Stephen Mbide, who is on ground. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning to you once again, Kwesi Genyi. I'm standing in one of the rooms here at Kabira Country Club, and what's going to be happening here is a dialogue on mental health in schools that is organized by Rotary Club of Chiwatri. And here, the Rotarian is already having breakfast, because we know food is also a good component if you have to make sure that you have well-being of anyone. That's why they're beginning this session with some breakfast, and I leave them to have this breakfast as we give you an update of what's happening here. Let me first of all speak to the DG, District Governor, Honorable Mike Sebalu. He's part of this. He's a Rotarian, but also part of this team. Good morning to you, Honorable.
For supporting the cause of being good in the world, and through last change that is beyond the various projects that we undertake.
Rotarians, you are known for selflessly coming up and doing good for society. I want to understand from you what's important.
Yeah, I think mental health is something that it has been neglected. Position that you are in. So Rotary does good in the world, and our new vision statement states that together we see a world where people unite and take action, cause lasting change.
We do apologize for the quality of sound coming through there. Of course, just going off the screen there is Honorable Mike Sebalu, Governor of District 9219, speaking on mental health in schools. That debate or story shall be coming up a little bit later in our subsequent bulletins. Allow me to return to studio and do our goodbyes for the morning at NTV today by allowing Job Richard Matua to use 60 broadcasting minutes, which could well be 40 seconds.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother Chris.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, countrymen and women, that I am deeply sorry for the grave mistake made by people in my government. And I apologize to the people of Karamoja and to the people of Uganda that this was an unnecessary thing. We did not need it. And I want to inform the people of Uganda that these iron seats were meant for Karamoja, and anyone who took them must return them to Karamoja. Karamoja is the least of the least in this country. Please and please, don't injure it more. You may kill it. Karamojongs are dying of hunger. Karamojongs are dying of insecurity. Let's do everything as a country to save Karamoja. And I thank my leader, President Yoweri Museveni, very much for dispatching security to Karamoja. to get to the roots of this issue. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Job Richard Matua, an activist and a petitioner.
And also thank you for inviting me.
National Social Security Fund probe, something that has given him the momentum, given his abilities to be able to articulate some of these vices that are happening within government agencies. We hope the information shared can be able to bring to light some of the issues that could be happening under the radar. Morning at NTV.